Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, the place we discuss all things USMNT y la selección mexicana. My name is Adrian. Joining me once again, my co-host Tocayo, Adrian. Adrian, what's Gucci, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? Friday night, gearing up for those matches tomorrow. Not too excited about Mexico. Kind of excited for the USMNT. I think it's going to be a good match, but we're not here to talk about USMNT today. We're here to talk about eltri and Brazil.
Yeah, eltri, Mexico playing Brazil there for the first time, I think, in College Station, Kyle Field.
It's a weird location, dude.
Yeah, very weird location. If you know anything about Texas, that's kind of out there. It's obviously where Texas A&M has its campus, but it's not too big of soccer country out there. So
where they have their cult. Cult.
But now it would be interesting to see how many paisas and how many Brazil fans show up for that match. I'm sure it'll be pretty packed. But diving into it, man, you know how we like to start these kind of preview videos, showing historical stats between the two rivals, Mexico Brazil. All time, Mexico has won 10 matches, has drawn 7, and has lost 24. And the most recent enfrentamientos between these teams have been in the World Cup in 2018, Brazil won 2-0. A friendly in 2015, Brazil won 2-0. 2014 World Cup, 0-0. FIFA Confederations Cup, when that was still a thing, back in 2013, Brazil won 2-0. Mexico does not beat Brazil since an international friendly in 2012, where they won 2-0. So a lot of 2-0 matches, most of them going to Brazil of the last 5. How is Mexico going into this match, I guess, form-wise, Adrian?
Form-wise, dude, if we look over the last, 6 matches of Mexico, we're looking at freaking 4 losses and 2 wins. The most recent loss against Uruguay that we saw this week, right? And then the previous one against the USMNT. So very demoralizing losses for Mexico, at least the recent matches. In terms of statistics, they're not showing up with their best game. I wish I could say the same thing as far as like performance or I guess football wise. But yeah, it's not looking great for Mexico. Looking very dire for Mexico, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, Brazil is not coming into this match in the greatest of form either. Their most recent international friendly was 3-3 with Spain. Before that, they beat England 1-0. But even before that, it was their FIFA World Cup qualifiers, 3 losses in a row to Uruguay, Colombia, and Argentina. So that caused, the changing of the guard, new coach to come in, and since I forget the coach's name, I have it here on top of my head, but it's a Brazilian name, obviously, but I can't remember it. But ever since he came in, they're undefeated for the last 2 matches, so there's that. But interestingly enough, man, people were thinking that Brazil was going to come in with their starters for this match. That may still be the case, but as of a couple, 30 minutes, an hour ago, tonight, Friday night, I was reading that reports out of Brazil are coming out that they're not going to start their starters for this match, that they might save their starters for the USA match and just, to prevent fatigue and injury ahead of the Copa América. So, so I don't know if how that will fare against Mexico, but a potential lineup, at least assuming it's the lineup that a lot of outlets are reporting, the starting lineup, etc., would be Alisson, Danilo, Militao, Marquinhos, and Wendell. In the middle, Luis and Guimarães, and then up top, Rafinha, Paqueta, Vinicius, and Rodrygo. And again, with Rodrygo, Rafinha, Militao, Alisson, all these starters play, yet to be seen, but that's at least a 4-2-3-1 that Brazil has been liking lately that Mexico might have to, counter tomorrow, Saturday. What do you think lineup for Mexico?
Lineup for Mexico, man. So, as we all know, right now, Malagón is pretty much out of the team, right? Unfortunately, he has a muscular injury, and he's going to be out for like 3 to 4 weeks, most likely also missing Copa América, depending on his recovery, right? And given said that, we firmly believe that Julio González is going to be the starting goalkeeper. I don't see how jimmylozano can start with El Rangel again. And we saw some Chiva hermanos and Americanistas having a fight on her Instagram account, on one of our latest videos. But listen, I don't think Chiva hermanos have anything to say against Luis Malagón. That's plain and simple. But leaving that aside, we really hope that jimmylozano comes to his senses and starts playing with, what's at least the closest lineup for having, or I guess for Mexico as a starting team. We should see Jorge Sanchez, Cesar Montes, Johan Vasquez and Gerardo Arteaga. In the middle, we should see two familiar faces in the name of Edsonalvarez and Luis Chavez. And here's a small surprise. A lot of pundits and people down in Mexico are mentioning that Charlie Rodriguez will start ahead of Eric Sanchez. Now, I think mainly has to do with Eric Sanchez not necessarily being match ready or match fit. We'll know that he participated on the CONCACAF Champions Cup final, which happened almost a week ago. He joined the team this last week, and I think he was still eligible for the Uruguay game, but the jimmylozano's team doesn't feel that he's match fit just yet. So that's why we should see Charlie Rodriguez. And with all, to be completely fair, Charlie Rodriguez had a good season with Cruzazul. This just recent clausura with Cruzazul, right? And at the front, we shall see Santiago Gimenez, Uriel Antuna, and Julian Quiñones, which we all think are the starting offensive line for Mexico, and as they should. I don't think there's anyone better than them if you look at the bench.
Oh, wait, time out. So you're saying that Santigimenez is going to get more than 6 minutes this time?
I really hope so, man. Listen, I don't think Jimmylozano has any other excuses. We saw Memote Martinez out there, and he wasn't necessarily the best. I know that also Jimmylozano played Alexis Vegas a 9 against Uruguay, but I just don't think he has any more excuses to not play Santigimenez. I really hope that is the case. If I don't see Santigimenez starting this match, then I'm going to say that Jimmy has something against him.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's personal now.
And I think an Uriel Antuna masterclass is incoming, man.
You think so? You're too optimistic, dude. Against freaking Wendell or Danilo? I don't know, dude.
He always steps it up, man. Being serious. Going back to a big talking point that's coming out this week, obviously Luis Ángel Malagón being ruled out. I think it has been confirmed, Adrian, that he will miss the entire tournament. Carlos Acevedo replacing him, leaving Mexico with Julio González, Acevedo, and Tala Rangel as the three goalkeepers for Copa América. Unfortunate, right? Because Malagón, 27 years old, was finally in pole position to become the starter to get that starting role from Memo Ochoa. How big of a loss is this for Mexico heading into this tournament, or will it be it's the same back four of Jorge Sánchez, Hermontes, Gerardo Arteaga, and Johan Vasquez that have played together always for the last 2-3 years? Can they deal with can this defense help and be strong enough to that the change in the goalkeeper doesn't matter?
No, man. I think this is a very sensible. This is a very very sensible. How do you call it? A very sensible
loss.
Yes, my bad. I was thinking in Spanish. Yes, as a very sensible loss for Mexico. And it's just because if you look at, I think, for example, Julio González and Tala Rangel, to me, personally speaking, are around the same level, right? And I say around the same level because Julio González has been playing for way more time in ligamx than Tala Rangel. I think Tala Rangel has, the equivalent of one season playing, playing at the top flight in Mexico in ligamx, right? And he's 24 years old, dude. So yes, he's young, but has very minimal experience playing in the top flight in Mexico. So there is I think there's a huge gap between those two, and then Luis Malagón, right? So yes, I think this is going to have a huge impact on Mexico's chances to have a stronger defense. Speaking wise, I think the fact that the back four has been playing together for a while now, they should look stronger and better coordinated than what we saw against Uruguay. But when it comes to that last line of defense, I think there's a huge a huge opportunity for the rivals to capitalize on it. Nothing against Julio González or Tala Rangel specifically. It's just that Luis Ángel Malagón is just in another level. It's very unfortunate. This happened to him also, I believe last year, where he was primed to be the starting goalkeeper and he got injured and had to be dropped. This time around, happens again. Very unfortunate. And I think it's a very, very, very impactful loss for Mexico.
And then it happened to Acevedo like 2 or 3 years ago when he was going to be the one that was going to take over. It just nobody's. Guillermo Ochoa did some brujeria, man.
I agree with Ochoa. He seems like he's hanging out with us because he's also using the PPG curse for something.
Yeah, he is. Rumors were circulating earlier this week that if Jaimelozano loses this match, he said he'll resign. I don't know how true that is. Eltri Twitter, La Selección, official Twitter, confirmed today that he will be the coach throughout Copa América and beyond, that they're sticking with him. How true do you think this is the case? And do you think that, a loss against Brazil tomorrow, if it's the end of Jimmy Lozano?
Listen, I'm gonna give you two answers. I'm gonna give you a reasonable answer, and not trying not to fall for any conspiracy theory. Um, I think that he probably, even if he loses, even if he loses this next match, I don't think he's gonna get fired after this, unless it's a 5+ goal difference, like 5-0 or freaking 6-1 or whatever, like a huge, like a blowout score. I think at that point in time he needs to resign. I don't think there's any turning back for Jimmy Lozano after this. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Mexico's going to lose that bad against Brazil. So I don't think he's going to get fired. Now, let me put my conspiracy hat on. I think Doña Fede is playing games, and I think Doña Fede is doing this. They are forcing Jimmy Lozano to go through this generational change, which, yes, we all agree needs to happen, but this is not the way to do it. They're forcing him to field players who have not played together for any amount of matches. They pretty much they don't know each other. They don't coordinate themselves, and this is exposing Jimmy Lozano and his lack of experience, right? How of an unexperienced coach he is. So by doing so, they are heating up the pot to the point that it's gonna boil, it's gonna explode, and he's gonna go out due to a lot of pressure from the pundits, from the media, from even like the players inside of Mexico, and there's gonna be no other thing to do but to cut him and bring a firefighter in the name of Vasco Aguirre. The fact that they're bringing Vasco Aguirre as an advisor or as someone who will help Jimmy Lozano to make the tough decisions and whatnot, I think is just a decoy or a smokescreen to eventually say, hey, Jimmy Lozano is not working, but we have someone who has done this in the past, who has come in as a firefighter and has done things, has performed at a decent level. Now, Vasco Aguirre has proven to be ineffective in the World Cups, right? Because he hasn't gotten away from the run of 16 or the best 16, right? He lost against the USMNT in 2002, and he lost against Argentina in 2010. And I also think he's an obsolete coach. But that is my conspiracy theory hat answer.
There you go. Long conspiracy theory. Up to you guys if y'all believe Adrian's conspiracy here.
Exactly.
One good thing for Mexico here is that, like we said earlier, Brazil is not coming into this match in the best of form. Currently 6th in CONMEBOL standings out of 10 for the World Cup. But obviously Vinicius and Rodrygo have just come off winning the Champions League, right? So a lot of players coming into this match in form. So we'll see if they could, bring that form into La Selección of Brazil going into this match. Adrian, man, as we wrap up this episode, you predicted 3-1 for Uruguay. Oh. What is your prediction score-wise for this match?
I was going to say 3-1 again, but now that we've revisited the recent forms and the head-to-head with both teams, I'm going to stick to the statistics and give Jimmy Lozano like an olive branch or a free get out of jail card. I think he's going to lose 2-0. And that should be.
I think you're gonna say a 2-2 or something.
No, hell no. I think he's gonna lose 2-0. I say he, right? But I think Mexico's gonna lose 2-0. That seems like a reasonable score for this match, given the fact that we might not see Brazil's A team, at least not on the offensive side of the pitch. So yeah, I think 2-0 should be reasonable, and that shouldn't put Jimmy Lozano in a spot where he's gonna either have to resign or get fired.
Okay, yeah, 2-0 seems reasonable. 3-1 was also a difference of 2 goals, so I would have also understood a 3-1 score here. But I'm with you, man. I think it's going to be. Mexico always plays well against. Mexico always plays surprisingly well against Brazil. If they play their starters, and if the rumor coming out of Brazil that Brazil is not starting their starters, I think Jimmy could squeeze a draw out of this. I'm gonna say 2-2. And I think it's going to give Mexico motivation and some pump heading into Copa América that they desperately need. I think it's going to be a masterclass, like I said, about Uriel Antuna, and I'm gonna give the other goal to Luis Chavez. I think the drought for Santiago Jimenez continues. Prove me wrong. And I can't tell you scores for Brazil. I don't even know what their lineup's going to be. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Mexico obviously plays tomorrow Brazil in Kyle Field, so that's going to be a must watch. Make sure you guys stick it here with PPG as we do our post match reactions there. Dan, as we wrap up this episode, bro, where can listeners find us, dude?
They can always find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notifications. You can also find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast on. Last but not least, you can also find us on Instagram and on TikTok. We're posting more stuff with a lot of frequency now. Shout out to our boy Marcelo. He's killing it.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Marcelo. And shout out to you, Adrian. Another great episode, man. I'll see you in the next one, brother.
Take it easy, my friend.
See ya.
Deuce.